What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of That Boy ETV. You already know, man, we are back on Marvel Rivals, and here we are with another character breakdown. And as you can see in the background, this time is for that boy Groot, baby. So let's get right into this. And again, we're talking about Groot. He is a Vanguard tank with a crowd control role. He has a base health of 700 and a movement speed of 6 meters a second, man. Now, Groot is one of the Vanguard heroes in Marvel Rivals. He is a tank character that is easy to pick up and play, but hard to master. Groot mostly relies on using his two types of walls to control the battlefield by setting them up in strategic locations to either block enemy advances or stop them from fleeing. Knowing how to use Groot's walls as well as when and where to place them is the first thing you should learn. While anyone can put up the walls, only those with a good understanding of the positioning will make the most of them. Aside from his walls, Groot's other major strength is his powerful ultimate. This is a team-wide CC skill that groups up all enemies in range and deals damage to them. The skill itself is able to take some heroes from full to 50% in the span of 3.5 seconds, while also giving your team more than enough time to swoop in and finish them off. All in all, Groot is a powerful champion that can be a beast in the right hands, man. Now, when it comes to Groot, man, the best Groots are really going to take advantage of his crowd control abilities. And I'm telling you now, if you go up against a great Groot that knows what he is doing, that understands map layouts, he will cut off lanes to make you have to run the longest way possible to the objective. And on certain maps like the Black Panther domination map, on one of the points, he's able to literally block off the entire point where nobody can walk inside of it but him. You have to literally jump over it, or you have to try to slide through past one of his walls, but the wall you can slide through is the one that can actually attack you. So when we get there, we'll talk about that. But ultimately, Groot, in my opinion, is very good. He can be very annoying as well with his wall placement, as he can cut off your team heals if he places it incorrectly. So just know that a good Groot has very good knowledge of wall placement and where to put them and how to use them, man. But let's go ahead and get into these abilities, man. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be his normal attack, and that's going to be Vine Strike. And with this, you launch vines to attack enemies. This is a single cast projectile with a delayed impact. The projectile speed is 120 meters a second. The maximum distance will be 20 meters. The attack interval will be 0.7 seconds. The damage will be 70, and there's no critical hit on this. Now, as you can see, when you use this, you will be shooting out vines, and it takes about 4 of these hits to kill your 275, 250 heroes, so you can kill them pretty easily and pretty quickly with these. As long as you're hitting shots with this, you can actually take out a lot of people. His basic attack, in my opinion, is very, very good, especially for what it does. And again, you think about it, most people won't be full health when you first come up to them, so if it only takes you 4 hits to kill 275, 250, most likely you're probably looking anywhere between 3 to 1 hit, just depending on if your teammates are also laying out damage alongside you. And if they are, like I said, you'll need 4 for full health, so most of the time you'll be 2 to 3 shotting a lot of these squishies with Groot, because they should have other damage from your teammates. Now, the next ability we talk about is going to be a passive, and that's going to be called Flora Colossus. With this, wooden walls near Groot will awaken, activating an extra effect, while building a wooden wall to continue building additional walls. Right? So this is a passive. This is a persistent spell field that surrounds the caster. The range is a cylindrical spell field with a 20 meter radius and a height of 40 meters. Now, as you see, this passive right here basically just allows his walls to do what they do and give them the special effect. So when you have them, one wall will give you bonus health, and the other wall will attack nearby enemies. So that's what the passive does. Now, when we get to the walls, I'll be more describe them a little bit more to you guys. But essentially, that's essentially what his passive is. His passive just allows his walls special effects to activate, man. So just be very aware of that. Now, let's get into his melee attack here, which is called Furious Flora. And with this, you perform a combo with his arms, and the third strike will slightly launch up the hit enemy airborne. The range is the first 2 strikes can reach 3 meters, while the third strike can reach 4 meters, man. And as you see, this is basically just a melee combo right here for any enemy that gets up close. Now, personally, I didn't really use this, as when people come up close, I still just basically use his primary attack. But again, we probably need to start using our melees a little bit more in the game, as some characters really do use them as animation cancels, and you use them to help get out damage a little bit faster. So certain characters, the melee is very strong. As far as Groot goes, he does have a pop-up on it, but it's only on the third hit, so I don't really know how often you'll be using this. I didn't use it very often myself, as I just used his primary attack and called it a day. So this is just a good thing to have, and understand it does have a CC property to it, so be aware of that. Now we're going to get into the next ability here, which will be called Spore Bomb. This, you throw an explosive spore bomb that splits into multiple small explosive spores. This is a single cast projectile with a downward delay that creates a spell peeled upon impact. The projectile speed is 60 meters a second. The range, the spore bomb generates a spell field with a 5 meter spherical radius, while small explosive spores create a spell field with a 1.5 meter spherical radius. The damage, the projectile itself does no damage, while spore bomb deals 55 damage and explosive spores deal 10 damage. The cooldown will be 6 seconds, and the special effect on this is the spore bomb explodes into 6 explosive spores. So as you see, when you throw this, you're going to throw out a little bomb here, and when it lands, it will explode into smaller ones, so it does give you ultimately a good amount of chunk damage here. Now this ability here is one you're going to be using a lot. Like, you'll use this to finish off enemies, you'll use this as an entry tool just to get some quick damage in. You'll also just be throwing this out randomly throughout the game. Another good use for this is to team it up with your ultimate. After you use your ultimate, you can throw this in on the crowd as well to get a little bit more cheeky damage on them real fast. So the Spore Bomb, I would just use it as much as possible. Just continue to throw it out. There's no need to really hold on to it for any specific reason. So just keep using it as often as possible to get out as much damage as possible with Groot. But again, make sure you're also using it, especially when you use his stuns or when you have somebody trapped behind a wall or something like that. You put a wall behind them, you throw the bomb, it should hit him directly. You should be good to go. But this ultimately just gives him a ranged attack in which he can throw this out and do a little bit extra damage. So it's really good. Just make sure you're using it as often as possible to get the most out of it, man. Now, we're going to get into these next two abilities, and finally we're going to talk about his walls. And the first one we're going to talk about is going to be called Ironwood Wall. With this, you target a location and grow an Ironwood Wall. When the wall is awakened, damage dealt by Groot and nearby enemies grant Groot bonus health. This is a targeted casting. The maximum distance of this will be 10 meters. The thorn wall health will be 700. The cooldown is 8 seconds. And the special effect is the Ironwood Wall heals 40 bonus health per second, up to 250 bonus health, man. Now, as you see, when you pop this here, you will see the icon of the wall come up. You are able to change the angles of these walls, so be aware of that. This way you can place them whenever you need to. But this wall here, once you place it, you will see it come down, and it will be the big red wall. This wall here is the one that grants you bonus health. As when you attack an enemy, you will see your health go up. So when you attack an enemy, you'll see your health go up. And also, when your allies attack enemies within this range, your health will go up as well. Now, I want you to know that this does actually have a good distance on it, as you don't have to be right up on the wall in order to gain the bonus health. So be aware of that, and just stay within range. I believe it's around 20 meters or so that you have to be within it. So just make sure you're around it. And remember, as long as you and your team is putting out damage, you will continue to get this bonus health all the way up until 250. Now, another good use for this wall specifically is to put this wall on the main entrance of the point, or the main entrance that the team comes through, as if you put it there, it will take a while for them to actually destroy this wall, with it being 700 health, so they have to sit there and actually destroy it. If you are able to get to the spawn points before they get out, you could put this in front of the main spawn point, causing them to have to go other ways. So again, you want to use this to block off flanks, to block off entryways, and still be within range of yourself, so you can go and get that bonus, man. So just make sure when you're placing this, you're placing it somewhere strategically, and you're able to stay near it to get that damage, to get that bonus health, man. Now, the next wall we got to talk about is going to be called Thornlash Wall. And with this, you target a location and grow a Thornlash Wall. When awakened, it strikes nearby enemies attacked by Groot and his allies. This is a targeted cast. The maximum distance will be 15 meters. The Thornlash Wall health is only 250. The cooldown is 2 charges, with each charge taking 6 seconds to charge. And the special effect, the Thorn Wall deals 60 damage every 0.5 seconds, man. Now, as you can see, again, with this here, when you pop it, you will get the icon, and you can change the direction of it as well. Also, it doesn't list it here, but you can have up to 3 of these walls on the map at one time. After the third wall, when you put up the next one, the first wall will go down. So you can only have 3 up at one time. Now, when you do put these up, you want to put these up to where the enemy is either in front of them or behind it, as if they're to the side, it will not strike them. It will only strike the enemy if it's in front of the wall or the enemy's right behind it. If it's on the side of the wall, the wall will not strike the enemy. Now, this right here is very good, as it does give Groot extra damage abilities. Now, when you want to use this for your off entryways to block those. The smaller ones that are the off entryways, you want to use these to block those as they have lower health. And if you go near them, again, if you're attacking or if your allies are attacking, the wall will lash out and attack the enemy for you. Now, again, when you're using this, you want to put up the main wall, which is the health one, the red one, and then you want to use these ones to go ahead and block off a lot of the extra smaller entryways. Again, on that Black Panther domination map, where the point is in that circular area where the plane flies out of, once the walls come up, you can literally block off all 4 entrances with Groot, putting the red one on the main side of the enemy's team, and then the other 3 entrances you can put these walls. Now, when they try to come through, they will be able to slide through your walls, but they will get attacked by them as soon as you see them try to come into your area, man. And again, it's called crowd control. That's what you want to do with him, and when you have him at his best abilities and best thing for the team, man. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be this ultimate, and this is going to be the Strangling Prison. With this, you fire a massive vine cluster that pulls nearby enemies to its center and imprisons them. This is a single cast projectile with a downward delay that creates a spell field upon impact. The projectile speed is 60 meters a second. The range is 8 meters field radius. The damage, the projectile deals 10 damage, while the spell field deals 70. While imprisoning enemies, it deals 20 damage every 0.5 seconds. The energy cost is 2,800, and the special effect is imprisons enemies for 3.5 seconds, man. So as you can see, when you pop this, you will throw out a little spore looking thing, and it will pull in any enemies within range. It does do damage to them. I didn't think it did damage at first, but it does actually do damage to them while stunning them for around 3.5 seconds. Now, this ultimate here is very, very good, especially when you are actually communicating with your teammates and are able to go ahead and combine this ultimate with other ones, such as Iron Man's ultimate, Scarlet Witch's ultimate. Those type of ultimates, you want to go ahead and stun them, have your Scarlet Witch or Iron Man shoot their ultimates off, and you should go ahead and kill most of the team. This will also work for like Moon Knight, Namor, any of those people. You go ahead, you coordinate with your teammates, tell them, hey, I'm about to pop my ult. You pop it, you pull all of them into one area, get them stuck, and then you have your teammates go ahead and ult onto the cluster of enemies, man. So again, I think that Groot has a very strong ultimate. It does take some getting used to as far as the timing of it and when to actually use it. But again, as long as you're communicating with your teammates, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with this. And for the most part, it is simple to understand, so you should get the hang of it very quick. Now, we all know we close out the videos with these team-ups. So Groot does have one, which we all know, and that's going to be called Friendly Shoulder. And with this, Jeff the Land Shark and Rocket Raccoon can ride on Groot's shoulders, receiving damage reduction. And for this, Groot does get a team-up bonus, which would be plus 150 max health, man. So with this team up here, as we all know, it will allow Jeff the Land Shark or Rocket Raccoon to go ahead and hop on Groot's shoulders. While they're on your shoulders, both you and the other character both receive damage reduction, while the character on your shoulder is still able to do all their primary and secondary attacks still up there. Both of you guys are still able to do most of your abilities and attacks. Well, Groot can do all his abilities and attacks while he has someone on his shoulder. The guys on the shoulder can only do the right and left triggers, if I'm not mistaken. So just be aware of that. But this is alright, especially when you want the damage reduction. So if you do happen to have a Groot and a Rocket on the team together, or even a Jeff the Land Shark, at some points in time, especially in the middle of a team fight, it might be beneficial to hop on his shoulders just to go ahead and get that damage reduction, to go ahead and make him a little bit more harder to kill and give him a little bit more survivability, man. But all in all, I'm going to tell you, man, when I picked up Groot, he was one of the first characters I actually played, and I did enjoy him. I don't know what happened, but I ended up moving away from him, and now coming back to him after using the guide, I see why I initially liked him. Being able to do crowd control with those walls, you can single-handedly win a game by yourself and make the game extremely easy, especially depending on the enemy team and who you're actually going up against. But understand, even though he's pretty easy to understand and pick up, it does have a high ceiling in regards to who's good with him. Because you have some people that'll go out there and build Fortnite walls, as yes, you can build on top of these walls. So all his walls can be built upon. So you can just be out there playing Fortnite. So again, high level Groots will be out here building whole fucking buildings on you while you're trying to get to the point, man. But this has been another one of them character breakdowns, and I hope y'all enjoy that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at That Boy ETV. Now, catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.